Hey y'all, it's your girl Crystal Renze back with another Weavejunky YouTube tutorial. And today we're actually going to be doing invisible locks. Okay y'all, so this style has been popping, like I think it just started a couple months ago, but it is super cute. This is actually my first time doing it, so I'm super excited. I think I watched like one YouTube video. Because anything really with weave I'm pretty much good at, so I kind of just only had to watch one video to kind of put two and two together, and I was ready to try it. So this is actually a client. She's not a model. She actually, you know, she's my friend, so she booked for this style, asked me if I can do it, and I told her I got her. And I did give her a discount because, y'all, I'm just not one of them girls that just be charging people an arm and a leg. How they say it, an arm and a leg. No, like I knew it was my first time, so I did let her know, and you know that's why I kind of gave her a decent discount. But she is still a client, so you know how to get my money. But okay y'all, let's get into it. So as y'all can see here, I'm just blow drying, and I kind of just do this because I want to make sure the roots are, you know, stretched out as much as possible. That just helps the longevity. It helps the lines look neater, and you know, it just gives it a fresh look. And yeah, I definitely sprayed some heat protector with some gloss. I kind of put the heat protector in the gloss, so yeah. Yeah, so here I am going to start sectioning off the hair. Now my technique is to part like starting from the middle down to the ear. I'm going to try to explain it as best as possible, but I used to I like, you know, to kind of find a demarcation for myself, and my client's ears are one, so that's kind of how I make sure that it's even. So for example, I might choose behind her ear, the middle of her ear, or above her ear. So everyone is different. I kind of just, you know, go with the particular client I have. Everyone's head is not the same, but as you guys can kind of see here, I kind of did it a little bit right behind her ear. So that was my demarcation, so that when I'm doing the other side, I can make sure that, you know, that's exactly where the part falls as well. And just to make sure I isolate as much as possible, I just part it in three. Usually I always do two, like just the top and the bottom, but because I am stubborn and this is a new style, I don't want hair falling into what I'm trying to do. So I was like, let me just do this correctly. And I just, you know, did my usual part, and you see me checking just to make sure I'm, you know, seeing exactly where I parted or I ended the line. I'm just gonna part it into three, you know. I'm gonna just part it into three, keep it real cute and simple. And yeah, y'all, so these are the products I used. I saw this in the video, which was the Cuban twist, right? And I use Shine and Jam. Now for the Cuban twist, and you guys will kind of see me explain that later, I ended up getting the 10-inch and the 12-inch because I didn't want it to be too long, and I did want it to be layered, and it was really no point of spending more money on the 12-inch if I was going to end up cutting it anyway, because you know you kind of wrap it up. You'll also see that as well, but I just, you know, put two and two together. I was like, you know what, I will use 10 at the bottom and 12 at the top. And my Shine and Jam, that's just my favorite, you know, hair gel, you could say. It's really jam, but that's just my favorite hair grease because it's a conditioning jam, and it just has that texture that I like. And I have a secret that I use to you know, have it a little bit more thick, because I know when you first get the jam, it's super like soft, but I have a secret for that. But anyway, let's get into it because I don't want to be too behind on this video. But yes, and the Shine and Jam doesn't turn white, so that's another thing, okay, just to keep in mind. It does not turn white like a lot of other jams did. But I actually found another gel that was in the video, which is called Braiding Locs, and that was super expensive. It was like $18, but Anyway, I'll show that maybe in another video if I do this again. But okay, so as y'all can see, I'm parting my first row. And just like how I parted the top, I always find some part on the, you know, the person's, on my client's head to make sure that it's even. So y'all can't really see me looking at it, but I made sure that, you know, I found a part on her ear that I wanted the lines to match with. That's how I really get my, you know, straight lines. I created my first line. Now I'm going to part it down the middle to make sure it's 2 even parts. And I kind of was just going for a, you know, kind of medium large look. The style kind of comes out large in a sense, like it's really medium but it's large. It's supposed to be like 2 braids in one, like 2 dreads in one, so technically it's medium, but once you put it together it becomes like a large. So yeah, I just had to part it in half. And you know, if your client wants something small, I would say, you know, then part it in 4. But I parted it in half. And as you can see, I'm going to braid the bottom half. I split that top. So basically, I split it again. And then the bottom part is braided. Right? So as you can see, this is my first time. But I kind of understood the concept. It's just like, okay, how am I going to make it work for me? So I braided the bottom half of it, and then I did the same for the other side. But as you guys will see, the other side of it was a little thinner. So, you know, as I went on, I tried to figure out how it would work best for me. But I'm gonna go ahead and crochet, you know, it in. And the one thing I did notice is that if I didn't braid it tight enough, by the time I crocheted it, it got super loose. So, yeah, I just had to make sure for the, you know, the ones from then on were I braided a little bit more tight. And as you guys can see, that just slipped right out, right? So I had to kind of think on my feet, and I was like, you know what? Since it's going in anyway, I might as well just braid it. Because unless I added weave to the braid, it would have still just been the same concept. But it was also me trying to figure out, you know, how else I could do the style. So I just braided it, you know, just a little bit. Nothing crazy, because I didn't want it to be obvious it was a braid. And then I let it go, as you guys can see. So I had to keep isolating because I just want the parts. Y'all know Weavejunky's parts have to be clean, okay? If nothing else, my parts have to be clean. All right, y'all. So one thing I did notice about the style, you have to put enough gel. And like I said, the Shine and Gem really, really worked for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put gel on it. And initially I had twisted it clockwise. And I'm going to let you guys know, it could have worked. It could have worked for me. But when I started to twist both of them together, I noticed that my twisting kind of was counterclockwise. And I don't really know how to explain it, but I kind of like twisted within the twist. It wasn't that bad, but I just took it all out and I was like, you know what? I am going to just counterclockwise twist it. And yeah, that worked better for me. And yeah, as y'all can see, the twist looked like how I saw it on YouTube. As you can see here, it was looking a little too tight. I try to feel it, but you do want to loosen it and not have it too tight so the client doesn't have a headache or like those tight bumps. So I took it out and redid it a little looser. And then y'all, you're supposed to twist it all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom, and then you twist it back up, literally all the way up. Now, I didn't really seal it with anything yet because I wanted to still think through what was the best way. I don't really remember what the YouTube I saw used, but I kind of just wanted to freeball it myself. You know, I'm really a stubborn learner. Like, I like to learn it how I like to learn it. That's kind of how I've always been. So y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and do this side so y'all can see a better angle of it. And I did braid a little bit tighter, so you can kind of see, even though the other, it's like one side was a little thinner than the other. I don't know if that was a me thing or just, you know, how her hair was. But yeah, so as you can see, added more gel, and then this time I twisted it counterclockwise. You do see it loosening up a little bit, but yeah, I just went ahead and did the same braid because I just assumed that it was because it was, you know, the baby hairs, it probably wasn't as strong. So yeah, I went ahead, gelled the second part, and then I twisted. So it's like my actual gel part, like gelling the parts were, you know, counterclockwise, but when I twisted them together, it was clockwise. I hope I'm not confusing you guys, because, you know, when I watched the video, I was a little confused, but because I've been doing hair for so long, just 2 and 2 just made sense to me. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to ask me in the comments. I have no problem answering them at all.
30 hertz straight up, straight up, straight up.
So yeah, I twisted back up, and as you guys can see, I still did not seal them, but they are looking so good. They're looking fresh. They're looking like dreads. They're looking like what what they're supposed to be looking like. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my second row, and at some point, I'm just gonna let you guys watch, but I do want to explain as much as possible. And look, the gel might look a little bit exaggerated, but y'all, I am combing it out to spread it out throughout the hair. And y'all, this style just seems to have to be gelled up. So yes, and that's why I like my Shannon Jam, because it just is perfect. It's like a conditioner, but it's also a gel. Like, it's like, I feel like if I would have used regular gel, it just would have been too caked up or turned white after it dried. So yes. And I did spray some, you know, hold spray after, before I put it under the dryer. But yeah. So from now on, I'm just pretty much going to show you guys the left side, because that's the side that you guys can see the best. Like I said, I'm not really into changing the camera frames too much because I don't have a team. It's just me. So yeah, so as you guys can see, both sides are now prepped. I'm going to twist it counterclockwise. And when you're twisting, you kind of want to make sure you're smoothing it out when you're twisting it. And I clipped it to one of the twists that was already done. And combing it out, y'all, is super important, because you just want that gel to, you know, to smooth out, and you want to kind of mesh it with the Marley hair if possible. I didn't really brush too much, but I definitely made sure the top of it was. And as you can see, I kept adding gel throughout. Now, one thing I definitely do know I had to do was, because her hair was a little, it's like her hair is full, but it was thin at the same time. Once I added product, it kind of made it a little thinner. So I did have to add a little bit of Marley hair. First, I was just using one piece of Marley hair for each. But then I started like breaking another piece in half and adding it to it. So it's kind of like 1.5, just to make it a little bit thicker, especially in the middle where I want my fullness to be. But like I said, y'all, this was, you know, my first time. I'm winging it, but this was actually super, super cute. And I was happy because in the video I had watched, it was unraveling a little bit. But when I did it, it didn't unravel at all. I don't know if it's just because my, you know, my twist was tight or just my previous experience, but I did a really good job. So, and I don't have to braid it all the way, y'all. You don't have to braid it all the way. Don't even give your client that job of trying to take it all out. You just have to braid it enough for you to be able to crochet it. So, I'm going to go ahead and prep that and let you guys watch. Alright, y'all, so now I'm at the top, and as you guys can kind of tell how I parted, I just kind of made the lines, you know, go straight across. Everyone's head is different. For some reason, you know, whenever I get to this top part, I always have to part it different depending on the style and depending on my client's hair texture and just a bunch of other factors. But as you can see, I kind of parted it into three. This side is like more of a triangle. And I was like, you know what, this looks like it would work. I kind of like, you know, staged it out first. So this is where I really started creating more length. And I was low-key running out of the other pack. So it worked out perfectly. And y'all, I only bought 2 packs. I don't know if I said in the beginning, but I only bought 2 packs, 112 and 110 inch. And I think I knew for sure that that would be enough. But, you know, if you're not sure, definitely need to make sure you get a 3rd pack. So as you guys can see, it's more like a triangle. And, yeah, it still looks super clean. You know, it's cute. Like, it just blended in so well. Like, I'm so proud of myself for this being my absolute first time really doing it on a client officially. I'm super, super excited. And I will be adding this to my services. So by this point, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and just seal it with nail glue. I use this for my, you know, what's that style called? My passion twist. I always do it way past the client's hair, y'all. Like, you know, it's better for me. And like, I just use literally a drop. Like, when I say a drop, literally a drop, and I usually always know where the last piece is so that I can like just drop it there and not have to do unnecessary gluing. But you know, it's done to where the client can just, you know, unravel it themselves. But nail glue worked better. You know, I don't know if people use like, you know, fire to burn the ends, but that I wouldn't even recommend because, you know, Marley hair is synthetic. If you've done it before and it works for you, hey, that's even better. But, you know, I think glue is the safest in just using the minimal amount as possible. Alright, y'all, so as you see, now I'm in the middle part. Parted into 3. It's a triangle, kind of square rectangle, and another triangle on the other side, because I know you guys can't see that side. And then I split that into 2 from in the middle. There's going to be one on the top and one on the bottom. And y'all, by the time I got to this middle part, I just used I said 10 and 12, y'all. I mean 10 and 16, Lord Jesus. And I'm guessing I just started using the 16. I thought I showed y'all because, anyway, as y'all can see, this is where I started using the 16. But I feel like I had opened the pack. I don't even know, y'all. Like, I don't know. But I know for sure I used the 16 on the top. I don't know if I had taken some out and just showed you guys the pack or what. But definitely the top was 16 for sure. One thing I do know I did was just to use the rest of the 10 I had, or the 12. I think it was 12. I just added more of the hair, like just added length like you would do on box braids. But I don't know, clearly I used 16 right here. I don't know, I be just moving, y'all. So it was definitely longer, so that was good. It fell exactly where I needed to. And if I, for whatever reason, needed to add more, I just added another piece of hair, which I usually cut it in half because I didn't want it to be too thick at the end. But yes, but y'all, what I was going to say is that once I got to this middle part, I was breezing through this like it was my 3rd, 4th time doing it. And I think this style honestly took a total of like 3 hours, 3.5 hours maybe. Yeah, it wasn't long at all. Alright, y'all, so now I'm done with the back and I am on the sides. I will show you guys the full look when I'm done. But as you guys can see, you know, I parted the 2 bottoms, prepped them. And, you know, I try not to do it so big so that, you know, it's a decent size. But, you know, I had to kind of replicate what I did on the, you know, the rest of it. So, you know, I had to be mindful of how big I was parting them. But I definitely told her to hold it because, you know, it is some tugging that needs to be done to make sure the twist is tight. And some of my clients are tender-headed, so I always tell them to hold it because I don't want to add any extra tension. And as you guys can see, I already did the other side because I told you guys I was just going to show you this side. So this is my last 2. Everything, she said she wanted a part. You know, I give my clients an option to have like a middle part, side part. It's always parted in the middle, but they can ask to leave with a side part or a middle part. So there was 2 on this left side. I would consider these large in a sense if you were doing it for a client, to be honest. You can part a little bit smaller and that'll be medium in my opinion. So yeah, these are the last 2. And I'm super excited myself because I did way better recording this video than I did my last one. So y'all don't forget to, you know, help me out, like, comment, subscribe, support your girl. As you're twisting it up, make sure you're, measuring them to make sure that they fall where you want them to fall. Don't just twist up. Make sure they're, equal in length. Something that's very important. Alright, y'all, so now to do them baby edges. One of my favorite parts. The crazy thing is that I didn't really see in the video them dipping it, but I just assumed I want it to be super stiff, so it would make sense to dip it in hot water. And that did definitely loosen it up for sure. And I didn't show it on camera, but I tapped her hair with like a rag, like a towel. I put in hot water and just tapped on her hair just to loosen the top of it a little bit, but not too much because I didn't want her real hair to curl up because of the moisture. And y'all, that is it. This is the finished look. It is super, super cute. I'm super excited for this being my first time. I'm proud of myself, y'all. I hope you guys like it. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And, tune into my next video.